On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Ethan makes preparations for Shadowkeep, while Tony goes on yet another quest. We talk about the week's biggest news and answer your question. Howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
Hey, Tony.
What's going on?
I'm happy to have internet, and I'm trying not to cough and or sneeze into the mic.
And you're glad you're done dealing with customer service?
Oh, gosh.
Of which you were probably smarter than the person on the other end of the phone?
That's what I said. Not to the person on the phone.
I could have done this job myself. Hang up.
I mean, they ask you to turn it off and turn it back on.
That's always the first thing you do, because that will fix most problems.
I've already done that.
If I'm calling you, I've turned it off at least once.
It's like, I understand not everyone's going to be smart enough to do that right away, but...
Trust me, I am.
I didn't argue with her on that. I just argued with her when she told me to look at my...
That's when you...
to look at something that I don't have for my internet, and she couldn't comprehend what I didn't have.
Yeah. But at least it's back on and it's working.
No thanks to her. And I'm sure they're going to be confused tomorrow when they call me to figure out what's going on. I'm like, I don't know. It just started working.
Well, we are 1 week away at the time of this recording from Name Your Game Expo.
We are.
I have gone and finalized the format for the show. The questions are all there. Everything is in place. I've seen the final presentation of what we're doing, and it looks fantastic. I am very much looking forward to this. So if anybody listening to this is in the Tulsa area, next weekend, October 5th, come by. I don't remember exactly where it's at. I should probably have looked that up. It's in Broken Arrow at some center that we will all be at. And Ethan, you can look that up while I'm stalling.
That's what I'm doing right now.
But yeah, come by, see us. We will be going on stage at 4 o'clock for our live trivia contest where 3 people will compete for the chance to win a prize.
At the Stony Creek Hotel and Conference Center.
There you go. It's in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma.
200 West Albany Street, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, 74012.
So we will be on stage 4 o'clock on Saturday, and our good friend, Mr. Shelby Coulter, has a panel on Sunday afternoon at 12:30 where he will be going over the history of Persona.
Oh, his is on Sunday?
Yeah, his is on Sunday.
Dang it.
His is at 12:30. I'm planning, hopefully, to be able to go back out there and watch his panel on Persona. Because while I haven't played the games, I'm very interested in seeing what he says about the series.
I don't know what time I'm leaving and whether I'll be there Sunday or not.
So, well, if you can stick around till 1:30 Sunday, you could learn all about the history of Persona.
I know like half the history.
And even if you don't care about Persona or you don't care about video game trivia, there's plenty of other stuff that's going to be going on. They've got cosplay contests. They're going to have, I think they're going to have arcade stuff out there. There will be escape rooms, board games, RPGs, you name it. If it has to do with gaming in some way, it'll be happening at Name Your Game Expo over the weekend. We also will be recording from out there during the day. So next week's podcast will be a little bit different. We've done this in the past.
I should probably look into getting a battery for my phone to or a spare charge battery thing, so that way we can record more.
Yeah, well, I'll record some stuff, you'll record some stuff, we'll put it all together in one fancy hodgepodge of a podcast for next week's show.
Ah, the quality's gonna be so bad.
That's okay though. That's okay. We don't do things professionally around here.
No,
So,
no, we don't.
well, while we have been preparing for Name Your Game Expo, you, Ethan, have also been preparing for something else.
I am preparing for the war on the moon.
How are you going to make it to the moon?
Well, first I gotta get my whaling stuff, and then I go and be a whaler on the moon.
Okay. Are there a lot of whales on the moon?
No, but I'll tell my tales as being a whaler on the moon.
Oh,
It's a Futurama reference for anyone who's interested in that. Anyway,
I have never seen it.
oh, anyway, Destiny 2 Shadowkeep is on Tuesday. When this episode's live, so that's a thing. So I'm in getting prepared for that,
Okay.
and I've actually done pretty much all the content in the games, or the game and the expansions up to this point. There's like a boss I need to defeat in one of the raid. Uh, uh, it's not a full blown raid. It's like a mini raid. I forget what they're called.
A raidette.
A raid at, yes. No, there's like a mini boss in oh geez, it's called Spire of Stars.
Okay.
And I just need to defeat the final boss in that, and I will have done all the content that I have access to, aside from Crucible competitive. And I mean, who wants to do that, right?
Not me.
It's the hardest thing to rank up in. You start ranking up, and then you start losing, and your rank just drops drastically.
Mhm.
It's dumb. But yeah, I've been playing Destiny 2. Did the Crown of Sorrows raid with Cole, or as he likes to go around being known as Mr. Potato, or Mr. Potato 4F, whatever you want to call him.
I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, it's his he likes potatoes.
I mean, who doesn't, really? Potatoes are delicious.
French fried potatoes.
I will eat potatoes raw, man.
That's a little weird.
It's not weird.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. They taste just as well. They don't taste just as good raw, but they taste pretty good raw. You just cut them up like an apple and eat them.
So yeah, looking forward to Shadowkeep. There's not much I have to do other than the that one thing, and then that should be it. I should be ready to go.
And so you'll be talking about Destiny next week.
Yeah, I'll get to talk about how horrible the experience has been for the first week with all the connection issues and other things. Yeah,
Oh, it's gonna run perfectly smoothly.
they're actually not going to have the game running on the 30th. So
Really?
Monday, the entire servers will be down.
Wow. Have they done this before with expansions like this?
I don't think they've just shut it down the day before ever.
Interesting. So it sounds like they're really trying to prep to avoid having a bunch of issues on launch day.
Yeah, they're trying to be overly prepared for all of it.
Which I guess is a good thing, but it's going to mean
Well,
you're not going to
they
have.
don't have Activision backing them anymore because it's just Bungie now.
Yeah, they went independent.
Yeah, So yeah, I'll talk about going back to the moon and fighting nightmares and other things next week.
Okay, interesting. Well, I guess that leads up to what I've been playing.
More nightmares.
I did finish Link's Awakening, so
So did I.
I saw credits on that game. It was fantastic all the way through. Um, cannot complain about anything with that game. That was a beautiful remake of a Zelda game.
It was
Uh,
really well done.
so
I kind of wish
that
there
is
was like
definitely.
additional content myself, but I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, it would have been nice to like have maybe had another dungeon in there or something. Um, but I'm not going to complain. It was a really good game. It took I think I finished it in 11 hours, I want to say. Um, the seventh dungeon, uh, what was it? The Eagles Tower.
Yeah, the pillar stuff in there that was horrible.
I went all the way through that dungeon not remembering that I needed to destroy those pillars and could not figure out what I was supposed to do. It was an embarrassingly long time in that dungeon. It took me about 2 hours to finish that dungeon. Um, and that was the point where I finally had to look stuff up for the first time uh, online because I could not figure out how to get through that dungeon and realized I had to go back through with that ball because I figured I had to do something with that ball, but I didn't figure it out. Didn't realize what I was supposed to do. There is somebody that gives you a hint in the dungeon, but I didn't pay attention to him.
I knew what to do with the ball. I just didn't remember how to do the dungeon.
Man,
It's like, okay, I know I need to hit these, but how do I get to this one that's all the way over here?
the boss fight was really easy. Yeah, there was one pillar that you have to do a lot of like throwing it across a wall and then navigating around to a different part of the room that you can't reach and then throwing the ball over another wall and then going back to where you were
Did
originally
you,
to
did you find that thing that I told you about? It's like there's a path down here and you don't know it until you just try to take it and it works.
I think I realized what you're talking about. There was one room where I didn't realize there was a door. It was in like the bottom left corner or
Yeah,
something. And I didn't realize there was a door down there until uh, after a considerable amount of time had passed. But once I did finally finish that dungeon, or get through that dungeon, the boss fight itself was really easy. The boss fight against the bird. Um, so, and then the only other thing that I really struggled with was the fight uh, at the end, the final boss, not the third phase. It was the third or the fourth phase, the one where he's spinning the spear around.
Ganon phase.
Um, yeah, I spoilers. I
Oh,
could.
the game is like
It's
15,
it's
20 years
20
old.
something years old. But I had forgotten what to do with that, and I went through every weapon in my inventory before I looked up what to do for that phase of the fight and
I had
realized
to
you
do
had
the
to.
same thing. I was like, what do I do? Nothing's working.
Yeah, charging at him never entered my mind. Um, so I was a little bit embarrassed about that, but yeah, I did finally see credits, and that game is done. And I don't know that I'm going to go back and bother with any of Dompe's stuff.
I did his stuff until he unlocks the challenge, the gold letter dungeon stuff.
Yeah. See, I did the first two sets of puzzles, like the first two
You
puzzles
just
that
need
he
to do
has you
like
to
the
do.
first three sets.
I did literally two puzzle dungeons, and that was it. And I haven't done
His
anything else.
the dungeon building stuff on there is a
It's a
real
little
letdown.
clunky.
It's a real letdown. It's actually from some Zelda Maker stuff they were experimenting with, apparently.
Yeah.
But for this game, it just comes down to I need to get through this as quick as possible. What's the quickest way I can, meet all the
Yeah,
goals that he has for me and fight the boss and be done.
I made the smallest possible dungeons for all of those that you could possibly do.
Which is fine
So
until you get to the ones where it's like, hey, you need to fill this entire tile set.
yeah, and see, I never got to any of the ones where he had like a shape that you would have to fill in. Never saw any of that stuff.
I think there's only two of them.
Okay.
One's a heart, and the other's a
Yeah,
bottle.
I remember seeing the heart from some of the preview stuff, but yeah, I don't know that I'm going to bother going back and doing that. I think I'm missing one item in the inventory, and it's a third bottle, I believe.
Yep, that's where you get it from filling in
Uh,
the bottle dungeon.
oh, well, there you go. That's the only thing in the inventory I think I'm missing. So,
You're not missing much.
nope. But that game is fantastic. So,
I spent an embarrassing long time trying to get into the eighth dungeon.
really,
I didn't know how to get into Turtle Rock.
see, I don't remember having too much of a problem with
I
it.
didn't know I needed to play some music for it.
Yeah, you have to play the ocarina to wake up the head.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm trying everything I can. I'm treating it like a Link to the Past, where you're trying to burn like the head or something to get inside.
Yeah. So, now I really, really would love to see those Oracle games being made. I want another, I want those other Game Boy games to come using this engine. So, but the other game that I've been playing, it was like Christmas all over for me for on Friday this week because four Dragon Quest games all came out on the same day. I have not bought Dragon Quest XI yet. That is still on my list. It unfortunately came out a week after Zelda, and so I have not been able to get that game yet. But I did get. I downloaded both Dragon Quest One and Dragon Quest Two, so I can play all the way through Dragon Quest One, go straight into Dragon Quest Two, and
Nice.
then I'll play Dragon Quest Three after that. Because this is the first time that this trilogy has been available on a console since the mid 90s when Dragon Quest 3 came out. At least here in the States.
Hmm.
The first two games came out on the Super Nintendo, but that was only in Japan and I think maybe Europe. Um,
You would know better than I would.
and then the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 also came to the Game Boy Color here in the United States. And I think that was in 2000 when that game launched.
Hmm.
But and those are really the versions of the game I would have preferred them to release is those Game Boy versions because they're so good. But what we got is Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3. We got ports of the game based off of the mobile versions of the games.
Ugh.
Well, it's not bad. They're not bad games.
They're bad.
Um,
They're bad. You know it's bad.
they're not. They're perfectly playable. They don't look the best. Like I have to say that. I think especially this version, um, because the games themselves look too smooth. Like they didn't just straight port the mobile game.
Oh, so it's like Chrono Trigger when it came out on Steam. It was just the mobile version.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But what they've done is they've taken that mobile version and updated the graphics just a little bit. So the mobile versions of the games are very they look a lot like Super Nintendo versions of the game. You can see all the pixels. The character art is still done in pixel versions, but with the Switch ports of these games, they have updated that a little bit and smoothed out some of the pixel stuff in the world itself. And then all of the character art in battles is really high resolution, hand drawn
Yeah.
graphics, and it just looks weird to see those versions of the game of the characters against that that pixelated backdrop. I'm getting used to it. I'm 2 or 3 hours, well, I guess probably 3 or 4 hours into Dragon Quest One at this point. Um, I know exactly what to do in this game, so I'm kind of speeding through it. But there are some points where you have to really grind to get some levels. That's the benefit of playing an NES game. There are some nice quality of life improvements that have been made over the NES versions of the game. Because like in that original version, if you had to open a door, if you had to go downstairs, you had to go into a menu and execute a command to do any of that stuff. And with this, you just walk up to the door, hit a button, the door opens, or you walk onto the tile with the staircase and you automatically take the stairs, so you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Uh, so there are some of those small quality of life improvements. It's still, you can tell that this is an NES game, and there have been things with the games over the years that have made the series even more fun to play. Um, Things like fast travel and stuff like that, which I would love for these games to have had, because there's a lot of back and forth that you have to do in these games. But yeah, Dragon Quest One was the game that got me into RPGs to begin with. It's the first RPG I ever played. It was the first game that really showed me you could have a a deep or big story in a video game. Because I played this even before I played the first Legend of Zelda. So Dragon Quest holds a very special place for me in the world of video games. So,
Okay. Okay.
but I'm going to finish up Dragon Quest One probably in the next few days, and then go straight into Dragon Quest Two. I'm going to play through this original trilogy, and then should be right about the time that Luigi's Mansion comes out. So
So you'll be ready for the end of the month.
This will lead me straight up to Luigi's Mansion, and then after that, I'll probably pick up Dragon Quest XI and play through that.
Awesome.
But that is it for me. So let's take a quick break, and we will come back and talk about the news. All right, so we had a couple of big video presentations from Sony and Microsoft this week to go over, but before we do that, Ethan, you had Games Done Quick news that you wanted to.
Yes, I hijacked the notes when you walked away between segments. Games Done Quick Express happened this weekend, and well, as of this recording, it's happening right now. In fact, I have been watching it the entire time we've been recording.
Huh.
And as of this second, they are at $74,646.
What's their goal?
There's no real goal for this. They're just yeah. Looks like this one's going to the Able Gamers charity.
Okay.
Right now they're just finishing up Legend of Zelda Wind Waker Randomizer.
That should be interesting.
And it was a race between CLG Linkus 7 and Gymnast 86.
Okay.
The first half of that is definitely a pretty good. It was very entertaining. The audio side was very entertaining. We'll go with that. The other half, I don't know because I've had it muted so we could record a podcast. But this is happening during TwitchCon, and they're running just for the weekend. I think the first day they did Celeste, and then went into oh geez, well I remember talking to you about it, Tony. And I've already forgotten. Oh, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Yeah.
Not Curse of the Moon. They actually did Ritual of the Night, so that was a very nice thing to see. Then they went into Luigi's Mansion, Crash Team Nitro Racing, or Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Sorry. They did some Marvel Spider-Man, Devil May Cry 3, Super Mario World, Super Ryu World 2, a Mario World hack,
Interesting.
Cadence of Hyrule, Zelda 2, Streets of Rage 2. That's just all in the first day. I mean, they're they got some big games out there that they're doing just for this weekend thing. Uh, this morning they actually did a Legend of Zelda Swordless NES run. Uh, I'm looking for some other high points to mention real quick.
Luigi's Mansion.
Luigi's Mansion done in 15 minutes.
Yeah, I still need to go back and watch that run. I have never seen a Luigi's Mansion run that fast.
The guy really just takes a advantage of a out of bounds trick, and that's all
Yeah.
he did on there. But
Yeah, but I still want to see how it works.
I'm sure you've seen it before in some videos I've sent you. It looks like they'll be closing out with Resident Evil 2 2019 Leon A Standard Edition or Standard. But before that, they have Super Mario 64 Randomizer. I don't know what that's gonna be like with the randomizer on there.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm honestly surprised they don't have any crowd control wouldn't work for GDQ. There's too many viewers and it'd be just utter chaos.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're actually they're about to run Bloodborne right now, and it's I mean it's a GDQ, so it's always kind of fun to watch, and they're getting more. This is the second time they've done GDQ Express, or yeah, Games Done Quick Express. So that's
Yeah.
they got a bigger area this year from the looks of it, and they're uh, better prepared in a lot of aspects. It seems as well.
That's good.
So uh, if you've missed all that, you can find their YouTube channel and catch up on the videos as they get them uploaded over the next probably couple of weeks.
Yep. Well, all right. So, well, I'm very much looking forward to see how much money they raise with these. GDQ is always one that I want to watch more of live, but I never really get a chance to. But I always go back and catch the runs that I'm super interested in seeing
But
because they're always entertaining.
yes, and even if you ever get to attend one of the events live, there's it's entertaining to watch in person. And if that gets boring, there's always something you can go and do, like go down to the game room, or
Yeah.
there's even people talking in the lobbies and stuff that you might be able to make friends with and such. So that's always a nice
Yep.
addition.
All right. So I mentioned previously there were two big video presentations this week. It started out with Sony because they last week announced that they would be doing a state of play this week on Tuesday.
Hmm.
Um, and so they had theirs. And I don't remember if it was on Tuesday or if it might have been on Monday that Microsoft announced that they were going to do one. Not a state of play. They were going to do an inside Xbox. It'd be a little weird for Microsoft to do a state of play.
Would it?
To have Microsoft announce all of Sony's games, yeah, that might be a little awkward.
No one would ever see it coming.
That's true. That's true. Then after Microsoft announced theirs, I was just waiting for Nintendo to say, you know what, we're going to do a direct that day too. Why not? Just have a little mini E3 happen. That didn't happen, of course, but Nintendo doesn't want to steal their thunder completely. But so yeah, it's not Nintendo. I've got Nintendo on the brain now. Uh,
I
Sony had
wonder why.
a 20-minute presentation where they showed off a bunch of trailers for games. Uh, One of them was called Humanity, which is a game coming from Tetsuya Mizuguchi, who you might know from games like Rez and Tetris Effects.
So it's gonna be very visually crazy.
It is very visually crazy. Just from the trailer they showed off. The game's called Humanity. And the trailer they showed off was literally just like thousands of people on the logo for the game milling around. I have no idea what was actually going on in this thing. People are describing it as a mix between Lemmings and Totally Accurate Battle Simulator.
That okay? All right, I get that reference.
So I don't get the Totally Accurate Battle Simulator reference. I've never seen that game. I don't know
You're not
anything about
missing
it.
much.
Lemmings, I understand, and this just had thousands of people. It is just bizarre to even look at this teaser trailer, and then they did also say that this will have a PlayStation VR mode as well, so you'll be able to play it with or without VR.
Okay, VR is optional. Good to know.
VR is optional. It is not required. Uh, it was announced that the medieval remake that is coming out, there is now a demo for that that launched later that same day, so you can go and check out medieval. This is a game that I think looks really interesting. I've never played a medieval game.
I think you can use your arm as a weapon.
I think so.
It's been a while
uh,
since I played the original demo back in during PlayStation Underground and all that, but
I like the art style. I like the character design. It's weird and it's bizarre.
mhm.
uh, it's sort of the perfect type of game to come out around this time of year, with Halloween coming up. So
It's very fitting for this season.
you can go and check out that demo right now. It is available in the PlayStation Store. A little bit of the Call of Duty campaign was shown off. It looks like Call of Duty. It looks like they're really ramping up the action for the single player story in this.
Oh, they're actually doing single player for this one?
Yeah, they are doing a single player campaign. So
Was it the previous one they just did multiplayer only?
no, think uh, I think the one time they did multiplayer only, it sort of backfired on them. So they have
Hmm.
put in campaigns the last couple of times. I haven't played a Call of Duty since the first Black Ops game, so it's been a while for me to have played a Call of Duty game. Uh, the creator of Katamari Damacy has a new game coming out called Wattam,
Okay.
Wattam. It is very bright. It's very colorful. It looks a lot like Nobi Nobi Boy visually, that sort of style. If you know what that looks like.
Okay.
I have no idea again what is going on in this game. The
It's just
trailer,
I'm just we have like a thing from the guy that makes Rez, and then we have a thing from the guy that makes Katamari.
yeah,
So it's just going to be some crazy stuff to visually and mentally process.
yeah. The trailer didn't really show off a lot of what is actually going to happen in the game. It just showed off a bunch of weirdly shaped, like spherical and cubical characters, um, with small, black, lifeless looking faces.
Oh no.
So it looks interesting. Have no idea what's going on.
It's going to have
Um,
one catchy musical number.
yeah, probably, and a very simple but complex gameplay hook,
Yes.
most likely. It was announced that Civilization 6 is coming to the PS4. It'll be out on November 22nd for both the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Okay. People play
The
that game. Yeah.
the game's been out on PC for about 3 years now. I think it came out in 2016, and then it came to the Switch last year. So it's now coming to both PS4 and Xbox One.
Excellent.
Uh, there is a Death Stranding limited edition PlayStation console bundle,
Yep.
which the system itself looks really cool. It's sort of a reverse ice cream sandwich looking thing, or like a reverse Oreo. If you know, it's white
It,
on the top and bottom, and then black in the middle.
it's got like black handprints on there, for
It does on the
which
top,
is fitting for the game style.
and then the controller is urine yellow.
Yep. I actually like how the controller looks, other than people calling it that.
That's what it looks like.
It is a see-through
It is a nice
yellow.
see-through plastic controller,
The
which
touchpad says Death Stranding on it, I believe.
yes, it does. I'm never gonna say no to a transparent controller because I love see-through plastic electronics.
And this
Always
is
have,
and this is where
always
you're
will.
like, oh, I'll say no to this one. And you're like, Tony,
It's
no.
pea yellow. I don't want a pea yellow. Actually, it doesn't really look that
It's
bad.
more orange than yellow.
It's first of the morning pea yellow is what you're telling
Gosh,
me.
keep it PG, Tony.
Sorry. Um, it's actually a really nice looking controller. I have to say. I don't mind the color. I think it looks really neat. Uh, so I just don't want to have to buy a Death Stranding console to get a controller like this.
Oh man,
And then they showed off a trailer for. They finished it off. Their sort of one more thing was the worst kept secret for the last week or so, and that is a trailer for The Last of Us 2, or The Last of Us Part 2, which comes out February 21st
I'll
of
just
next
call it
year.
Last of Us 2. We all know it's 2, not part 2.
Well, officially it's The Last of Us Part 2, but nobody calls it that. It's just The Last of Us 2. Uh, like, this is a game that I have not been interested in at all since it was announced. They've shown off stuff. The first game was good. I didn't think it was amazing.
I haven't played the first game.
Well, you'll have your chance. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Oh,
Uh, but this is coming out. A lot of people are super hyped for this. It's going to be like the biggest game of the first part of the year for sure next year with a lot of people. Uh, and I think I don't remember if it had a release date prior to this, and this was the announce of the release date, or if I had just not seen it prior to this. But February 21st, 2020.
I don't recall seeing a release date before either.
I don't either. I think this was the official announcement of the release date. So there you go. Also, the last thing I want to mention during this video presentation, they announced what October's PlayStation Plus games are going to be, if you're interested. And the reason I said you might have your chance to play that is because The Last of Us Remastered is coming to PlayStation Plus in October.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you haven't played this yet and you're curious, now's the time to get it.
I think I have a digital copy like Stuart or Jason gave to me for free a while back.
Yeah. I actually already own this as well. I played The Last of Us when it came out as the remastered version. I didn't play it on the PS3. The first time I played it was on PS4. But that will be out in October, and the other one coming out for PlayStation Plus is MLB The Show 19.
Just in time for the end of the year.
Yeah, baseball season will be ending very soon. So there you go. I will be downloading that the second it comes to Plus because I haven't played that one yet. The last one I played was MLB The Show 18 when it was like $3 on a sale earlier this year. I bought that. So I will definitely be picking up the show when it hits Plus. And I don't know if those are this week or next week.
Well, it's the whatever the first Tuesday would be, I would think.
That
So,
would be this week. It would be October 1st.
so
So
I'm betting October 1st is when they'll be ready to go.
Um, pulling it up right now to see. It says they're coming out October 2nd.
Huh.
So,
Weird.
which is Wednesday.
Very weird.
So, there you go. And then, of course, Microsoft had their Inside Xbox, which I have not seen yet. I did watch the PlayStation event. I have not seen the Xbox one. They showed off a bunch of, or they showed off Xbox or Project X Cloud. Sorry,
Is
and that
this
will be the first public preview for that. Will be this month in the United States and the UK. Invite only right now with a limited number of spots that will be available. You can sign up. There is a website that you can go to, xbox.com/game streaming, to learn about that, and then sign up for that preview if you're interested in possibly getting a chance to check out Project X Cloud. They said you have to have an Android device and then a wireless Xbox controller. So those are the only things that
uh
are required to be a part of this, and then they'll choose the people that they send the invites to.
I can't do that because I don't have an Android device.
Well, you'll have to wait then for it to come to iOS.
Thanks, Apple and Microsoft.
Xbox Game Pass for PC is getting 4 new titles coming soon. Saints Row 4 Reelected, City Skylines, Bad North, and Dirt Rally 2.0.
Some good games.
They showed off a trailer for Children of Morta, which is a roguelike action-driven RPG.
That I've never heard of this.
It looks like a superhero type um, game. You play as a family of extraordinary heroes fighting against corruption.
I might have to
Because
check this out.
what else would you fight against? They showed off a trailer for Code Vein.
Okay, Code Vein. That's a thing that's coming out.
I have heard of this game. I know a lot of people have been talking about it on the internet this week.
Yeah, some reviewers are uh, upset or something about it being
Yeah,
too anime.
it has a lot of anime in it, if you know what we're saying. So,
uh,
uh, Obsidian showed off some more of the Outer Worlds, which is their new game that's coming out.
that's gonna be an interesting game when it's out
Really?
because it's not gonna be Fallout, but it's gonna be Fallout.
Yeah, it is. It's like colorful Fallout, is what it looks like. And it's coming to the Switch, which is fantastic.
I know.
It's gonna be amazing. Showed off a little bit of Ghost Recon Breakpoint and interviewed John Bernthal, who is the main character in that game. The actor who voices the main character and does the motion capture.
Hmm.
Showed off some DLC for Hitman 2.
I have not picked that one up yet.
Showed off a trailer. I have not played a Hitman game ever.
They may or may not be your style of game. I'm not sure.
I'm not a huge, stealth guy, so
Well, it's not so. I mean, like you, there's parts you're gonna have to treat as stealth, but
yeah.
there's also the stuff you would have to treat as like kind of just puzzle elements and how to make uh, result. Or it's like cause do A to cause B,
So that you can then perform action C.
maybe, or sometimes B is already taking care of that.
That's true. Showed off a trailer for Ace Combat 7, which will be out on September 25th, so it's out now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a new set of DLC for DayZ is coming called Days Livonia.
Okay.
It's set in the summer, lots of forests. and a bear. They showed off a bear in the trailer.
Because zombie bears.
Of course, why not?
The
If I
greatest
saw
threat
if I
to
saw a zombie bear, I would be very scared.
the American people.
Zombie bears and Canadians, except they know how to deal with bears.
Yes.
Or the Russians. Russians can deal with bears too. Way better than us Americans here. And we mentioned that Death Stranding system earlier during the Sony State of Play.
Yes, we did.
Some more news about Death Stranding also happened this week, Ethan.
No way.
Yeah, the game has gone gold.
Yes, Kojima was tweeting out pictures of him posing with the gold master copy of the game. And him and his entire Kojima Productions team all posing, celebrating, all happy, and yeah.
I hope he didn't scratch the disc.
I mean, I tried to plan a heist, and you're like, no.
It's probably a bad idea. Just to be perfectly honest, trying to steal the Gold Master from Kojima, probably not the best idea.
I don't think he would suspect a cardboard box.
You don't think?
I bet not.
Well, you go test that theory, and then when you're not on the show next week, we'll know why.
Because I'm too busy playing Death Stranding.
Oh, yeah, there you go. So, there you go. And when does that game come out?
November, I think. You know, it's a good time to look that up. So
That would seem to make the most sense.
Date. November 8th.
Okay. I'll be playing Luigi's Mansion.
I will have already beat Luigi's Mansion and start playing Death Stranding.
It's going to take you at least a month to get through Luigi's Mansion.
Nah.
No. I actually don't. I expect it'll take a few days, but it's probably a fairly short game, I would imagine. So
It'll be my go-to game whenever I need to calm down after the horrors of Death Stranding.
You'll go play the survival horror game with Luigi in it. To calm yourself.
Because that's what one does, right?
Of course. I mean, if you're going to have a survival horror game that calms you down, that makes the most sense. Because it's going to be the chillest, most relaxed, most adorable survival horror game you could play. So, well, there you go. That will be the show, though, for this week, Ethan.
So, that's it.
That is it.
Cool.
We are done. So, next week, expect the show to be a little different because we will be live from Name Your Game Expo. But we're not going to let you go a week if we can help it without a show. So
I will try to get some video footage, but don't expect much from me on that.
We'll do what we can. So, all right. Well, there you go. If you want to reach out to us, we have new ways to do so. You can email us at procedurallygeneratedent@gmail.com. If you like what we do, you can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/pgent. Patreon supporters get the video version of the podcast a day early. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/progenint. Check out our YouTube channel, and we still have that famous Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.